Hi, I'm Kurt. I'm a battery guy. I've been in the business for over 30 years now. I joined the industry when lithium-ion was first being commercialized. I remember how back then we were innovating the Sony camcorder batteries. Now we're innovating to electrify trucks that'll drive 500 miles on a single charge. Today, I want to talk about how GM is positioning itself as a leader in battery technology and shaping the future of the US industrial base for the battery value chain. I started at Panasonic, one of the world's largest battery cell makers, in 1990, and I helped, after that, establish the first gigafactory with Tesla, doubling the production of lithium-ion battery cells with one single factory. I brought this full spectrum of experience to GM and found an incredible foundation already present. They already had state-of-the-art facilities, deep technical expertise, and a world-class team. These ingredients position GM as a battery leader, but it'll also drive stronger and more secure US-based supply chain, benefiting the entire battery industry. This is vital for the United States' economic and national security, and to be globally competitive in the technologies that will power the future. Electrification is a global trend, and companies and governments all over the world are investing heavily to lead this transformation. There's no technological reason why the US can't lead. In fact, there's a strong economic argument that we must lead. Many of the battery technologies that are going into vehicles now were first invented here in the US, including the two most popular ones, the high-nickel NMC chemistry and the more affordable iron phosphate, or LFP chemistry. Both of them were invented here in the US. We have a growing supply chain for EV technology and the world's best environment for startups. At the same time, the domestic battery manufacturing ecosystem is scaling with speed and quality to compete globally. This is critical because we've got some important questions ahead of us. First, how do we unlock the full potential of commercializing battery technology in America to compete on a global scale? How do we drive down costs to make these technologies more affordable and accessible? And how do we bring the benefits of these supply chains to American consumers and workers? Well, that's what we're working on with my team. We're focused and guided by these three goals. First, we aim to build on our cost leadership for batteries in the US. Second, we'll advance the state of technology to deliver more range and faster charge while keeping safety in the heart of everything we do. And third, we'll establish North American independence for our battery supply chain. Now, over the years, GM has quietly built an electrification powerhouse. Our Ultium Cells joint venture with LG Energy Solution is the largest producer of battery cells in North America, with quality and yield rate of battery cells from our facilities matching any of those of the top global manufacturers. The Ohio and Tennessee plants represent nearly $5 billion in private investment by GM and LG, creating over 2,500 jobs. Our partnership and scale give us the lowest cell cost of any North American OEM. In 2024, we reduced the battery pack cost by $60 a kilowatt hour. This year, we're on track to reduce it another $30 a kilowatt hour. And as we onboard and localize new technologies, we have the opportunity to drive out even more costs. This work starts in Warren, Michigan, where we research, test, and prototype the future of battery technology. Today, we're prototyping full-size, auto-scale size, 200 amp-hour prismatic cells for testing in our labs. And with our new battery cell development center that is currently under construction, we'll refine and validate new cell concepts, enabling our manufacturing partners to scale up production faster and deliver high-quality cells right here in the US. With more than 12 EVs In our portfolio, we offer the most diverse lineup of EVs on US roads today. We're building on our engineering efforts to match the ideal battery to each vehicle, optimizing performance, cost, and range to meet the unique needs of our customers. That's why we're introducing new battery cell formats to expand choices and lower costs. For example, in the future, we'll manufacture prismatic cells, which will cut the number of components in our GM battery packs of today by nearly 50%. We're also adopting flexible cell chemistries to strike the best balance of range, performance, and affordability. Right now in our battery labs in Michigan, our engineers are developing new battery chemistries that bridge the energy and cost gap between the nickel-based and the iron-based technologies. Alongside today's high nickel chemistry, we're adopting LFP to introduce to our battery portfolio. It's an ideal option for vehicles where affordability is critical. Take the Chevy Silverado EV. Using the high nickel cells today, we're able to achieve 490 miles of driving range. Now we can use that same platform and introduce LFP, a more affordable solution, and still get 350 miles of range. But we can do it at $6,000 lower cost. As we do all this, we're also advancing the battery supply chain and scaling US-based production, advancing both American economic and national security. This includes expanding our partnership with LG to include prismatic cell development and launching a new joint venture with Samsung to produce lithium-ion battery cells in Indiana starting in 2027. But we can't stop there. That's why we're onshoring our battery supply chain as quickly as we can. As I mentioned earlier, we'll establish US-based manufacturing of LFP battery cells, but we're also investing in nickel and iron-based cathode precursor and active materials through our joint venture with POSCO and other partners. We'll continue by localizing electrolyte and separators in North America before the end of the decade. And we're investing to bring critical mineral production here for metals like lithium, manganese, and nickel, with partners like Lithium Americas and Element 25. We're doing the same with natural graphite and artificial graphite with our partner Vianode. Overall, the North American content of our battery supply chain between now and 2028 will increase by 8 times. So based on my experience, battery innovation is all about continuous improvements. It's across the entire value chain. It's not just one breakthrough. Each innovation matters. Together, they can lead to a transformation. Now, 30 years ago, I would have never imagined we'd be here today, making production at EV scale size. Now, since 2019, automakers in the US and battery partners have invested over $125 billion on 80 different projects that related to EVs or batteries. This led to 113,000 jobs across 18 states. Now, don't get me wrong, there are challenges ahead, but we've also got major opportunities for the US industry. By advancing battery technology and driving innovation, strengthening our onshoring, and making our supply chain the most competitive in the world, we're building not just better batteries, but a stronger, more resilient US industry for the future. I couldn't be more enthusiastic about the prospects of the lithium-ion battery industry here in the US. We have what it takes. We've got the technology, the manufacturing, and the expertise. We just need to execute. Thank you.